From towering cliffs shaped by ancient legends to stones split by forces we can barely imagine, some rock formations are more than just stunning sights, they're storytellers of time itself. Each one holds a tale, of gods and giants, love and loss, or the sheer power of nature. Today, we're uncovering 12 rock formations with amazing stories that blur the line between myth and geology. So, let's travel across the globe and discover the incredible tales carved in stone. 1. Hvitserkur, Iceland. On Iceland's northern coast stands a rock that looks like a dragon taking a sip from the sea, and locals say, that's almost exactly what it was. According to legend, Hvitserkur was once a troll who tried to destroy a nearby monastery. But before he could finish his plan, the sun rose, turning him to stone forever. Geologists, of course, say it's just a 15-meter basalt sea stack shaped by erosion, but when you see it standing tall against the waves, it's hard not to believe there's a little magic in that legend. 2. Sigiriya Rock, Sri Lanka. Towering high above the Sri Lankan jungle, Sigiriya Rock is more than just a natural wonder, it's a monument to ambition, betrayal, and legend. In the 5th century AD, King Causeway built his fortress and palace on top of this giant rock after seizing the throne from his brother. He even designed a massive lion-shaped gateway, earning it the name Sigiriya, or Lion Rock. But after Causeway's defeat and tragic death, the fortress was abandoned and later became a Buddhist monastery. For centuries, it lay hidden beneath the jungle, until explorers rediscovered it, a silent reminder of a king's rise and fall carved into stone. 3. Split Apple Rock, New Zealand. Floating just off the coast of New Zealand's Tasman Bay is a giant boulder that looks like it's been sliced clean in half, and that's exactly what makes Split Apple Rock so fascinating. According to Maori legend, two powerful gods fought over who owned the rock. In their struggle, they split it perfectly down the middle, a symbol of how even gods must share. Scientists say it's actually a granite formation that naturally cracked during an ice age, but when you see that flawless split sitting in the water, the myth feels just as real. 4. Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland. Along the rugged coast of Northern Ireland lies one of the world's most jaw-dropping sights, over 40,000 interlocking basalt columns that look like a pathway built by giants themselves. And according to Irish legend, that's exactly what it was. The giant Finn McCool supposedly built the causeway to cross the sea and fight his Scottish rival, Bonandanir. But when he saw how massive Bonandanir really was, Finn fled home, and his clever wife disguised him as a baby. When the Scottish giant saw the baby, he assumed the father must be enormous and ran back to Scotland, tearing up the causeway behind him. In truth, the columns were formed by volcanic activity around 60 million years ago, but standing there, it's easy to imagine the footsteps of giants echoing through the cliffs. 5. Uluru, Australia. In the heart of Australia's Red Desert stands one of the most sacred and recognizable rocks on Earth, Uluru, also known as Ayers Rock. To the Ananga people, Uluru isn't just a giant sandstone formation, it's a living storybook. Every curve and cave tells part of their dreamtime, the creation stories of ancestral beings who shaped the land. Scientists say Uluru began forming around 550 million years ago, but its spiritual importance runs much deeper. At sunrise and sunset, when the rock glows fiery red, it's easy to see why it's considered the beating heart of Australia. 6. The Old Man of Storr, Scotland. Rising from the misty Isle of Skye is one of Scotland's most haunting landmarks, the Old Man of Storr. According to legend, the towering pinnacle was once a giant who lived on the island. When he died, his body was buried among the hills, leaving his thumb sticking out of the earth, creating the stone spire we see today. Geologists explain it differently. Of course, the old man is the result of ancient landslides and erosion. But when the clouds roll in and the rock disappears into the fog, the legend feels completely alive. 7. Devil's Tower, Wyoming, USA. Rising nearly 400 meters above the plains of Wyoming, Devil's Tower looks like something from another world, and for many Native American tribes, it's a sacred site filled with legend. One famous story tells of 7 girls chased by giant bears. To save them, the Great Spirit lifted the ground beneath their feet toward the sky. The bears tried to climb after them, clawing deep grooves into the rock, forming the tower's unique ridges. The girls were carried into the heavens, becoming the stars of the Pleiades. Scientists say the tower was formed by molten magma that solidified underground before being exposed by erosion, but those claw marks still make the legend hard to forget. 8. Bungle Range, Australia. Deep in Western Australia's Pernululu National Park lies the Bungle Range, a maze of orange and black striped domes that look almost too strange to be real. For thousands of years, this landscape has been sacred to the Aboriginal people, who say it was shaped by ancestral spirits during the Dreamtime. The beehive-like formations are part of their stories of creation, water, and life. Geologists later discovered that the range is made of sandstone sculpted by wind and rain over millions of years, but the patterns and colors make it feel like the earth itself is painted with history. 9. The 12 Apostles, Australia. Off the southern coast of Australia stand the 12 Apostles, towering limestone stacks rising dramatically from the ocean. They weren't built by hands or legends of gods, but by the sea itself. Over millions of years, relentless waves carved cliffs into arches, and arches into these lonely pillars standing against the tide. Even though only 7 remain today, their name and beauty have turned them into symbols of endurance, proof that even stone can tell a story of time, change, and resilience. 10. Chocolate Hills, Philippines. In the heart of Bohol, the landscape suddenly ripples into more than 1,000 near-perfect conical hills, turning brown in the dry season, just like chocolate drops, hence the name Chocolate Hills. Local legend tells of 2 giants who once hurled rocks and boulders at each other during a fierce battle. When they finally made peace, they became friends, but left behind their stone mess as a reminder of their fight. Geologists say the hills formed from ancient coral reefs uplifted and shaped by rain and erosion, but when you see hundreds of them stretching to the horizon, it's easy to believe they're something straight out of a fairy tale. 11. Fairy Chimneys, Cappadocia, Turkey. Scattered across the surreal landscape of Cappadocia are thousands of cone-shaped towers known as fairy chimneys, each one looking like something from a fantasy world. Local legends say fairies once lived underground, hiding from humans, and would only come out at night. Others believe the strange shapes were built by giants or ancient spirits. In reality, they were carved by nature, formed from soft volcanic ash slowly eroded by wind and water. But humans later added their own touch, carving homes, churches, and even entire cities into the rocks, blending myth and history in one breathtaking place. 12. Kjeragbolten, Norway. High in Norway's Hvitserkur mountains sits one of the world's most jaw-dropping natural wonders, Kjeragbolten, a giant boulder perfectly wedged between 2 cliffs over a 3,000-foot drop. According to local legend, trolls placed the rock there before sunrise, but when daylight hit, they turned to stone, leaving the boulder trapped forever. Geologists have a simpler story. It was deposited during the last ice age when glaciers receded, leaving it caught between the cliffs. Still, standing on that suspended rock, with the world falling away beneath your feet, it's easy to see why it's wrapped in myth. From trolls and giants to kings and gods, these rock formations prove that nature doesn't just shape the land, it shapes our stories too. Each one stands as a reminder that every stone has a past, and sometimes, that past is as incredible as the view itself. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me next time for more amazing wonders from around the world.